Welcome to Short Film Universe, the show that celebrates the art of short filmmaking. Join us as we take you on a journey through the exciting world of independent film. In each episode, I'll be interviewing some of the most innovative directors, producers, and filmmakers in the business, getting their insight and perspective on the craft of short filmmaking. We'll look at drama, comedy, documentaries, even mockumentaries, and all the genres that make up this exciting industry. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be entertained. This is Ennamorgan inviting you to join us at Short Film Universe. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Short Film Universe at 1061 TV. We're here live in Atlanta and it's hot, as they call it, Hotlanta. And I'm exhausted because this guest we have on show today, I tell you, I had to run around all the studios in Hollywood to track him down. He's a super busy fellow from LA and I'm exhausted. But as always, at Short Film Universe, we promise you we're bringing you filmmakers from around the globe. Doesn't matter where I have to go, I go and get them for you. Filmmakers who are making a difference, they're impactful, they're doing fantastic things. And the guest that we have in studio, well, he's not in studio, but he's coming to you live from Los Angeles. And he definitely fits all those categories and checks all those boxes. So coming to you from Los Angeles, I shanghaied him, woke him up early, and dragged him all the way over here for you. So I'm exhausted. And that explains why we're a bit late getting on air today, because I was tracking him down. So thank you for joining us. And I will go straight to our guest, Mr. David CODEGLIA. Now, I had to wrestle him free. He's hanging out with the likes of George Lucas and J.J. Abrams. So can you imagine my task? I had to wrestle him free and convince him to get on set with you today. Mr. David CODEGLIA. David,
Hello.
How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing fine. Well, I'm exhausted. That's all I'm going to say, because I worked hard to get you here. So I'm going to just start out by saying that. So how is it in LA? Is it as hot as it is in Atlanta?
No, it's actually kind of overcast this week.
Oh, okay. So you're playing it cool over there. So
Yeah, it's perfect.
good. So at least one of us is chilling. So now, David, I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey. You're originally from Silicon Valley, and usually when we think Silicon Valley, we think IT. But you had other plans. You started out with your twin brother, got all excited about Ninja Turtles, and you jumped straight into doing films. 20 years in the business, and I swear you don't look a day over 30. So is it fair
that's good to hear. Thank you.
Is it fair to say you started at 10?
Probably we started in 5th grade. My brother and I started making videos for a history class, and my dad used to work at a studio, like a TV studio for Hewlett Packard, and we got to play with studio cameras, and we made a project for a history class that we were failing, and it brought our grades up to a D, so we passed.
Did you say you were failing the history class?
Oh yeah, well we moved in the middle of 5th grade, and I was never a great student anyway, but if I were to take a history class now, I'd pay more attention for sure.
Right. Well, you're a great student of film. I mean, you're doing fantastic things over there, and we're going to show the audience all the wonderful things you're doing. So history probably wasn't your strong point, but you finally did find your strong point.
I did, yeah. We started playing with videos and making movies in our backyards. Went to film school and graduated, got into freelance, and worked for some pretty big studios and on some really cool projects.
And by we, you're meaning you and your brother?
Yeah, I have an identical twin brother. He and I made movies our whole lives. He's a great cinematographer. We work together, we work separate, and we make a pretty great team.
And you do a lot of primarily special effects, directing, script writing, yes?
Yeah, we kind of grew up doing everything. So we landed in, he landed in cinematography and I landed in directing, but with experience doing kind of a little bit of everything from writing and editing and a lot of visual effects too.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about how you get from Silicon Valley to LA.
Well, in Silicon Valley, we had a very early computer that could do about a minute of video at a time. So we were pretty early on in being able to film something on VHS and then record it on our computer, add special effects, and then we would kick it back out to VHS tape and then edit our movie. So we were some of the earliest kids in our neighborhood to be able to do lightsabers and shoot ray guns at each other.
And did that get recognized somewhere, or did you just decided that you're doing so fantastic with films that you're going to make that journey to LA and get right into it?
Well, we went to film school. We definitely got attention from our classmates and parents and teachers, and we just got encouraged from that and kept doing it, and eventually applied to film school and went down to LA, and I went to USC, my brother went to Chapman. We worked on each other's projects, and I would play hooky and go down to Chapman if a cool filmmaker was speaking down there and vice versa. And it was really great. Yeah, we graduated and started a business together.
Okay. Well, we keep talking all these wonderful things about how fantastic you are, and I want to bring the audience up to speed with us. So I want to show them this clip from Breakdown, and this is your first feature, and I know you're very, very proud of it. You wrote the script, you directed it, you edited it. So I want to give the audience a taste of the mastermind of David. Here's a clip from Breakdown.
All right. So are you guys ready for California?
I hear they got beaches.
Muscle beaches.
Morning, Richard. Ready for your first band trip?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good. It's just that California's a coastal state, and many find it bewitching.
Oh my God, look who it is.
You realize you don't stand a chance unless you talk to her?
Talk to her.
What's the definition of dirty?
You guys excited?
Yes!
Let's kick some ass.
Doesn't look good, guys. Boss is in bad shape.
I can't believe we're stranded here. Yeah, I know, but on the bright side, no parents. And Mr. Thompson barely counts as adult supervision.
Hey, you know this is my first band trip, right?
Yeah.
Till the bus is fixed, I kind of need to take us somewhere that's educational.
Sounds lame. Oh, I promise you, it is not lame.
The Pennyfeather House was commissioned by doily pioneer Fannie Mae Pennyfeather in 1896.
The whole trip's a bust.
We're missing this big international competition thing. The only thing we can really do now is just hang out. Try to make the best of it, okay?
Dude, Tony says the girls just invited them over for an orgy.
What? You can't be serious.
Unless you guys want to come with?
Thanks, but I was thinking about going stargazing. Morgan, do you want to come?
What about Maddie? You realize you two are perfect for each other, right?
How can you tell if what you want is the right thing?
Maybe if something feels right and it doesn't hurt anyone.
What's up, teacher's pet? Where's your girlfriend?
And that's what we go for. Just keep trying and see how far that right feeling takes us.
What are you doing? You're not ready for this stuff. Morgan, he's just going through some stuff right now.
Which one is it? Maddie or Yvette? Because I'm confused.
I'm sick of everybody telling me what to do. Come on, Cinderella! Morgan! What the hell are you doing? Do you even know how to fight? Nope. Got any pointers? Stick your head in the sand? No, man. I'm done being a bitch.
Take a shot, teacher.
Do we exist?
Didn't a famous criminal once come to town?
Yes, he was a very famous cattle thief who settled down here to sell cattle of his own.
Ah.
Yeah.
You wearing a wire?
Thank you for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. We're here with David CODEGLIA from Los Angeles, live from Los Angeles. So David, I know this is, although you've ran around all the sets on Paramount, Disney, and Lucasfilms, I know this one is your true love. This is what you're most proud of, and I reckon it's because you did everything in it. Am I correct?
Well, it's especially because it was a feature, and that's sort of a very tough thing for a filmmaker to get their first one.
Right.
I would interview for films, and they would say, well, why do you think you haven't been hired on a feature yet? And I said, because I haven't been hired on a feature yet. So it's very interesting. It's a catch-22, you know. So it was really great to get my first one in there and prove that I could do it. And I was very proud of it because it was low budget, it was a tight schedule, and my brother and I, we really, you know, worked hard and had a great time, and I think made something great. And we shot it in 12 days. It's very fast. And it was just a joy to work with, and we had, you know, cool crew and actors and all that stuff.
But it's funny you say low budget, because when you use the word low budget, that's relative. Now tell us how much, because I know that's not as low as you're making it out to be. What was the budget on that film?
It is 6 figures. So, and that is, I was kind of astounded by that number when I first heard it, but I kind of knew instinctively it would run out quick. And when you're making a movie, that stuff goes quick. So it was, you know, we just had to be clever in the ways we approached things. There was an original script, and McDillon Francois, he wrote this script that was a little more sprawling, and it had more travel and parties and airport scenes running down streets. And I decided to pare it down, and I have it, it's basically this road trip, right, about these high school students, and I decided to have the bus break down. And so the whole movie, you're stuck in a motel, and that just saved a lot of money without having to travel and not get too many locations.
Right. Yeah, that's one way to keep the budget low, but it's still pretty high. 6 figures is still pretty high for a film.
Oh yeah, you can definitely make. I have a friend who's making a feature for $1,000.
For $1,000?
He's doing it on weekends, and it's all volunteers. And I helped out for a day or two. I helped do a visual effect for him, and I can't wait for it to come out.
Right. So don't be so modest about that budget. So now, where can we watch that film? Let us know where we can watch.
It's on Amazon Prime. You can look it up. It's The Breakdown. I think there's a couple other films by that title, but ours came out in 2021.
Okay.
You'll see a picture of a bunch of kids with a travel bus.
So Amazon Prime.
A travel bus. It's a bus that travels.
Right. What a novel idea, David. A bus that travels.
It's one of those good buses.
Right. So Amazon Prime, that's where you can look at The Breakdown. Now, I want to switch over because your specialty, and you started out doing this, special effects, VFX, that's your specialty, right?
Yeah, it certainly paid the rent for those first, few years out of college.
Right.
Visual effects is one of those things where, even if you have the software, you can't necessarily sit down and make a green screen look real. It's harder than you think. So my brother and I got pretty good at that, and it paid the rent for sure.
And there's a particular clip that I really am excited to show, and you're going to tell us how you did it, all the behind the scenes of how you made this happen. Really love the fact, now this film, Deep Dish, won 3 awards. Ironically, it won for Best Comedy, Best Acting Cast, and Best Lead Actress. Now the interesting thing, and why I said ironically, in this scene we're going to show you is where one of the actors is kicking the other one right in front of a moving train. Phenomenal work. So David will take a look at a clip, and then David will tell you how he accomplished that. So let's take a look at that clip. This is Deep Dish.
So we can see the cardboard pattern here. If we have it horizontal, you can see the shine. If you have it vertical, it's harder to see. So that's how we're going to mount it.
Copyrighted music.
That's our most dangerous prop.
Oh, fire. Oh.
said he had bad breath. Yeah, Pete
We just finished shooting all our green screen replacements, all our backgrounds. So we took all these measurements of our set while we were shooting our green screen with our actors, and we recreated those measurements here in the subway station so that we got our perspective and our lenses and our camera height all right. So when we put our actors on our green screen here in the subway, everything feels real.
Well, I hope you enjoy that as much as I did. I absolutely love watching how David puts these things together. Now, as you know, here on Short Film Universe, the objective is to highlight the filmmakers, spotlight their craft, what they do. It is also to encourage global collaboration. So anyone watching this who want to collaborate with David on a project, feel free. We're going to open the phone lines here pretty soon, and you can call in, you can ask him questions, and in fact after the show his contact information will be in the description. Feel free to connect with him. David loves, as you heard him say, he loves collaborating and working on projects because this is what excites him. And then the third aspect of what we do is the exchange of ideas and cultural ideas and instruction. And so what I'm asking David to do at this point, and he has no problem, he loves telling folks how he accomplished the things that he's accomplished. Phenomenal work. And so I'll let David explain to you what you just saw.
Well, what you saw was behind the scenes of Deep Dish Apocalypse. It's a project from my friends Ron and Emily. They run a company called Bell House. And this, they had this script written by Trey Nichols, and it was this zombie apocalypse, and these two coworkers bump into each other in the subway. Like, the idea is the last train's going to leave town, and we didn't know how to afford a real subway set, and we looked at other locations like train stations and bus stops, but none of them felt like the claustrophobic feel of there's chaos up in the streets and zombies could come out of the tunnels, and we wanted to really play with light and flickering lights. And my brother and I decided to my brother, the DP, he wanted to have control over the lighting, and you couldn't afford a subway without lots of crowd control. And instead of doing all green screens, we decided to build these cardboard sets in the backgrounds that were going to be used most often. So behind the two actors, Ron and Emily, we built these sets and painted them and distressed them and made them drippy and gross and made them a little smaller than real life, so they felt further away. And they're based on real locations. And then you film it, and guess what? It looks real because it is real. It's in camera. And for shots where we couldn't build the whole thing, we needed the trains coming and going, we did green screens.
But you're missing out the juicy part. Now, didn't you build this set out of cardboard?
Yeah, in the video, I think you can see it's cardboard pieces, it's hot glue, and then we used paints and spray paints, and you can see our assistant director, Christy Arribez, spraying and greasing paint and distressing it to look ugly. And that way James can put his lighting on the actors, and the lights can flicker, and the light is affecting the actors in the background at the same time. Something that would be a little more difficult if it was all visual effects.
And that is what's so fascinating about this, David, because I don't know if anyone like me, you know, I get my cardboard boxes when I have deliveries from Amazon, and I throw it in a recycle bin. And you know what they say, one man's trash. And here you are building fantastic scenes with them, making great films with it, and I'm tossing it in the garbage. So I guess that's a lesson for everyone out there, young filmmakers. David is the man to tell you how to take all your recycle and put it in a wonderful film. Right, David?
Well, we learned from, yeah, that's right. We did a parody remake of RoboCop called Our RoboCop Remake, which David Seeger put together. And my brother and I built this giant Ed 209, which is a giant bipedal robot that malfunctions and kills an executive. We made him entirely out of cardboard, and we realized you can paint the cardboard, and that was so much fun that we took that knowledge into Deep Dish, knowing we could work with that material.
And you happen to have those glasses sitting right with you, don't you? The glasses that
Which ones?
the RoboCop that you just mentioned? Didn't you make
No,
the glasses?
These are from another show. You just saw my pajamas, didn't you?
Because I know you have, all your figures and everything around you there. Show us those fancy glasses that you did.
These are goggles. My brother and I worked on a show called Nowhere Men. And we made these cool, can't put this in, but we made these props for the actors. This doesn't work anymore, but a light would come out. And I designed it with these little nodes because we would have a little visual effects screen in here of what they're working on the computers. And these helped with 4-point, it's called corner pinning, corner pin tracking. So we could track the motion of a computer screen in there.
Right. I'm surprised Men in Black.
Buying and gluing junk together is all it is.
I'm just surprised they haven't snagged you up for Men in Black. I know you were on Star Wars and with hanging out with George Lucas on films on Lucasfilm, but I'm really surprised they haven't, with all these fancy things that you do. I'm just surprised they haven't been snagged up yet. But I'm putting it out there in the universe. You know, I'm just saying, snag him up. He's all these phenomenal things that he's doing with different to achieve different looks. So there you have it. Cardboard boxes can be built into subway sets. So
hang on to your trash.
Hang on to your trash. That's the message we're sending out here. Now there's more coming, because what he did also is spaceships. He will show you how he built spaceships right after we take this commercial break. We'll be right back.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world.
Welcome back, Short Film Universe. We're here with David CODEGLIA from Los Angeles. And we're talking about special effects. We're talking about all the fantastic things that he builds with what you and I throw out. So careful when you're throwing stuff out. David might be rummaging through to find all these neat things. So we want to show you how he built a spaceship and how you can float. I know that you're interested in floating. Aren't we all? We want to get on that ship with what's his name, the fellow with Tesla? Gee, my brain just went out the window.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, thank you. Elon Musk, sorry, I know. I should remember your name.
He does not build things out of cardboard. That would not be
I
smart.
know, he did. But I'm thinking we all want to get on that spaceship with him and get into space. So David will show you how he built his, how his actors floated in space, and he will tell you all about how he accomplished this after we take a look at what he did. Have a look. Okay, so you learned how to float and build spaceships and all these great things. That was from The Encounter. It's a TV show. You can watch it on PureFlix. David CODEGLIA, he was the director on that film. And of course, he did a lot of the special effects, and he will explain to you how he accomplished that.
Yeah, so a production designer friend of mine, Melissa Woods, she was working on this TV show, and they had one episode that took place on the International Space Station, and they weren't sure quite how to do it. Do you find a cool hallway or a set, or do you do it all green screen? And she mentioned me, and that's one way I got the gig and got to direct it and work on the script and work with all the actors. But one thing I helped mastermind was how do we do this zero gravity stuff? And pretty early on, we realized we couldn't afford wire work, because you have to hang that from stunt rigging over the set, and that was a bit too cumbersome. And so I said, let's build a set. So Melissa Woods and we designed this set that sort of resembles the International Space Station with these really small vertical hallways where you're supposed to float horizontal. And what I decided to do is I sketched up ideas and I experimented. I was visiting my friend in New Orleans, and I was filming myself with my phone upside down, and I was on an office chair rolling around. And just by turning the camera upside down, your brain is tricked. You think, oh, that person's floating. And then in visual effects, I knew I could paint out the chair, and I could paint in with computer graphics the missing floor. So the set was designed with the techniques that I came up with.
So, the last couple of shows we had here, we talked a lot about the VFX, we talked about CGI, and you do a lot more of creating stuff than using CGI and any of these fancy camera things. Am I correct?
Yeah, one thing I really think is a great idea for visual effects is you want to do as much in camera as possible. So I shot behind the scenes with JJ on some big movies like Star Trek and Star Wars, and even he understands, well, there's a big visual effects budget. If you can build a set or get a character or something in camera, it's cooler for everyone there. The actors feel it, they can react to it, and then it does take down the budget of the visual effects. So learning that lesson with The Encounter, I built this set where we wouldn't have to extend hallways with green screen like we did for Deep Dish. We built as much as we could out of just wood and scrap materials and recyclable electronics. We even had a cabinet maker, this guy named Casey, who came out and he built the cool working door, a space door with precision. And the best thing you can do is sell the effect with a few key shots where she's floating down the hallway, audience believes she can float, and then the rest is like this, shoot it waist up, have the actor sort of fake float around a little bit. And then every now and then remind them this is real with a visual effects shot, but do it as little as possible. You really don't need it to show off,
Right. Just get the job done with as minimum as possible rather than trying to do all these big things and expand the budget.
Yeah, what matters is the story, and a lot of the story lives in close-up anyway. So we would, establish the effect, show where she is or what's going on, and then the rest of the scene lives in close-up.
Right. And of course, again, to remind the audience, the phone lines are open. So if you have questions for David, he's here now. As I said earlier, the man is very difficult to track down. So phone lines are open. Feel free to give us a ring so you can ask any questions to David, and he can perhaps get into some of the details if you have questions other than what he's already said, or if you'd like to collaborate with him. Please.
Relationship advice. Home decorating. I'm saving a bunch of plastic garbage for when I build a spaceship set.
Okay.
So,
he's offering relationship advice
to be a spaceship set or a forest.
Now, with as busy as you are, I mean, what relationship advice are you going to give us here? How not to get into a relationship, how to play it cool and coy?
Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't bother.
Just don't bother. Don't bother.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Just put on your Vision Pro Apple headset and just live in there.
Exactly. Concentrate. David's advice is concentrate on your passion and your mission. Again, he started since he was in the 5th grade, and there you have it. He's doing phenomenally well in LA, being all over the place, creating films, directing films, writing scripts, and that sort of thing. So the phone lines are open, but let's first go to a commercial break. When we come back, David also gets into although he doesn't do stunt choreography as much, he still does it. And the last flick we're going to show is one that he directed, and he will show you some tricks that he did. He'll explain them, and we'll show the scene, the fight scene, and David will come back and explain some of the things that he did, the angles that he did it from, to make it look as phenomenal as it does. So we'll go to a commercial break first. Again, the phone lines will be open. Feel free to call in and chat with David. Let's take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
There are no mistakes or regrets in this life, only the opportunity to learn and evolve. Leave your imprint on this earth. In that process, it's a responsibility and calling to aid others where possible. When you've been blessed, you should look to be a blessing. That can take the form of your time and resources. You only have one life to make a difference in others, so why not show up and be great? But not for the sake of yourself, but for a generation of onlookers who are looking to see what's possible. Being a State Farm good neighbor in the community is a privilege that I don't take for granted. My name is Sherry DeVos-Denard, and my office is located in the industrious side of McDonough, Georgia. We service all of Georgia and neighboring states Alabama and South Carolina. You can reach us today for all of your auto, home, life, and small business needs at 678-782-3005 or online at sddinsurance.com and on all social media platforms. We look forward to earning your business. There are no
Okay, we're back with David CODEGLIA, and we're going to get into a fight scene here. Film Sons of Thunder, TV show that David directed. Again, you can watch that on PureFlix. The link will be in the description when the video gets uploaded. Now, a couple sessions back, we had Troy Sanford on the set, and he is in Beijing, China. Works a lot with Jackie Chan, Daniel Lee, Keanu Reeves. He's done a lot of, he's a stunt choreographer, works behind the scene with a lot of those films. And so when he was here, you may have heard me, we joked about him having a rematch with Danny Chan, the fellow that played Bruce Lee in the Ip Man, the finale. But I was serious. I think Troy thinks that I was joking, but I'm serious. And so I gathered up some people, and David doesn't know this yet, but I'm lining him up. So David, you're hearing it now. I'm lining you up with Troy because I have a vested interest now to see this, to create this film, the rematch, for Troy to go head to head with Bruce Lee himself. We'll find someone to play Bruce Lee. Maybe Danny Chan might want to do it. We don't know. We'll ask him. Can't hurt to ask, right? So I'm lining you up for that, David, just so you know. Yes?
That sounds amazing.
How do you feel about, while we're on the topic, how do you feel about El Salvador?
I mean, yeah, I used to grow up on a street called Salvador Street.
Well, we're talking about a country in South. We're talking about the country in Central
don't
America.
Ask me geography questions.
Yes, I have in next week. I believe.
Can I go there? Because I want to go there.
Yes, I have another director who's going to make a film. I think you love it. We'll talk about it. But again, I'm just like, you know, that's what we do here. We push collaboration, cross-cultural, get people moving, creating films. That's what we love to do here at Short Film Universe. So I want to go straight to that clip where David is directing the Sons of Thunder, and you'll see the angles that he's using on the camera here. Take a look at the clip.
Bruiser. That was your club name, wasn't it?
Bruiser, don't call me that.
What do you think would happen if these folks found out about your past? What if I told them?
I'm warning you. You don't want to do this.
You're warning me? I'm not the one who abandoned the devil's hand just like you abandoned your teammates. Two brotherhoods and you betrayed both!
Jacob! Addison, get Mike.
That's enough! Why don't you tell everyone about your biker gang past, Bruiser? Huh?
I told you don't call me that.
I used to rough up members when they got out of line.
You lied to this family, taking their money, pretending that someone else saved this place.
You guys, stop it!
See his hand? Show them who you really belong to.
Jacob! Jacob! Stop it! Jacob! Jacob!
Torture me, kill me, it's still Devil's Hand.
Jacob! Jacob! Jacob!
Remember? We don't call 911 around here.
Addison. Yeah, you weren't kidding about that right hook.
Me and one other director.
Okay,
We directed
so you've seen it, Sons of Thunder. That was the work of David CODEGLIA. He was a director on that film. And oh, by the way, Atlanta filmmakers, he does travel because the encounter was filmed here in Atlanta. So, as I said, the man gets around. He's all over the place. And now we're trying to get him to El Salvador and China to do these other films. So that's for a different show we'll talk about. So, David, talk to us. Tell us about this one, Sons of Thunder, which can be seen again in PureFlix. Tell us about that scene.
Well, I was invited back to work with the same studio. Anna Zielinski, the producer, brought me back for this show, and I directed half the episodes. The other half were directed by Gabriel Sebloff, who's an awesome director. And yeah, it's this cool show about an ex-bike gang member recently out of prison, you know, looking for redemption at a horse ranch and reconnecting with, you know, an old girlfriend and making new friends and caring about someone outside of himself. And the show's really fun, you know. It's kind of about faith, and it's about it just has a lot of cool like mystery, action, and suspense. And I was really excited to do some fight scenes, do scenes on motorcycles, and even got to shoot a horse fall stunt, which was really exciting.
A horse what?
A horse fall. So there's a scene where a horse gets out of control, and this guy, Mike, falls off his horse, and they had these stunt guys there at the Gibson Ranch, the Gibson family. Dale, the guy who runs the place, said, "Oh, here's a great place where we can do a horse fall. We'll have the horse go this way. This guy will do a flip and fall onto the ground." We were all freaking out, but we shot it, and it looked amazing, so that was cool. And we got to do some fight scenes.
And that's in the film also?
Yeah, it's in one of the episodes. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch that one, so now that little teaser, I have to go watch that.
I think there's a shot in. Yeah, I can send you a clip later.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So David, you do it all. And this particular film was shot in LA on Gibson Ranch, yes?
Yeah, these episodes were all shot just 40 minutes north of LA, and the fight scene, when it came up, there's this issue of how much do you plan? Some people like to storyboard everything. Some people like to come in with no plan. And for me, for fight scenes, I kind of do it sort of halfway. So we were looking at the location. I thought, okay, here's where they have their conversation. They're spinning around. And maybe the first fight gets them to this position where we can have these other characters. We can frame up these shots. Let's move it over to the car, to the tree, and how do we get to the tank, the dunking in the horse trough. And then they go away, and Dale, they choreograph the fight sequence with the actors, Rocky and Tyler, who were amazing. They were so energetic. And then they came back the next day, and they showed me the fight they'd come up with. And I just told the crew, okay, like, here's our shots. Let's shoot, here's all of our shots. You know, like to block everything, so the whole crew can see and understand how all the pieces are going to fit together in order. And then we start to shoot out of order. Okay, let's start here with this shot. We're going to do these sequences. These actors can go away, and then we'll get all these shots. And you just start to crawl through it. And I really liked that. I really liked being on set, not having planned every single shot, because you're going to be inspired anyway.
So you do it on the fly.
But there are some sequences, like, it's unlike The Encounter, where I literally drew a shot, every single shot, and every conversation piece, because that required visual effects. That affected budget. But on set, I was pretty quick, I think, setting up that fight.
Well, David, I know the audience learned quite a bit. I mean, I did. It was so fun to watch the way you created all those scenes and so effortlessly. Again, I know I learned a lot from it. I'm sure the audience and other filmmakers learned a lot from it. I would love, I'm a big fan of yours now. I probably will, no, I won't stalk you, but I will chase you around to get you back on the set. And again, I'm serious about getting together to do those other films. So tell us and tell the audience and other filmmakers watching the kind of films that you would love to collaborate on, what your dream is, what's next for you, because you've done so much. You have a healthy repertoire, and I would love to, again, have you back on set, but also to see some collaboration, and tell us what you're looking to do next.
Well, I am writing some scripts. I'm going to keep those to myself, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I think there were a lot of films that were what-if concepts. You know, I think of, like Spielberg especially, think of what if dinosaurs, what if giant shark, what if an alien is your friend. I like the high concept idea. It just gets my imagination going, because I had a pretty sheltered life, you know, when I was a kid. So my brother and I would just go into Imagination Town and make stuff up, and they're usually zany adventures, you know, like science fiction and, you know, action and the kind of the big, bright, fun stuff. But more recently, I'd be getting deeper into character. You know, the breakdown is about people, and I went down into some of my emotions from high school and, you know, dealing with girls and friends and bullies and that kind of stuff. But I would love to explore some of the stuff from my childhood. A lot of the stuff I'm writing now, it's like horror comedy, or it's just zany slapstick comedy with, you know, drug trip out scenes. And my brother and I want to do a cop movie with lots of silly action, you know, almost like Naked Gun series. But I'd love it's movies like Ninja Turtles. You know, when I was a kid, that was the coolest thing. The Ninja Turtle costumes by Jim Henson.
Yeah.
So I would love to do live action stuff with the Ninja Turtles, you know, back in costume.
I remember you told me that, and the same fellow that I mentioned about the stunt performer, I think I told you, you two have that in common. I have another fellow that's going to be on the set in 2 weeks. It seems like that has been the inspiration for a lot of stunt performers and film directors and filmmakers. So I find that fascinating that I'm coming across so many people who that was their inspiration. So I'm telling you, there is a lot in common. Oh, we have a call coming in. We have a call coming in, David. Let's take that call. Hello, you're on the air with Short Film Universe.
Hi there, my name is Ellis, and I'd like to ask David a question.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Ellis.
I mean, who's
He knows me.
Okay. Go ahead, he can hear you.
Awesome. So, David, I think we know each other pretty well at this point, wouldn't you agree? I would like to ask you so I understand that you've enjoyed doing short films in your career, and I was wondering if there's a short film that you've done in your time that you would love the opportunity to redo, and why?
The one we made together, because I would recast you. No, I'm just kidding. Ellis is this amazing artist. She lives in Florida, and she does stuff for theme parks, and she does these really beautiful paintings. She did my poster for The Breakdown, which I don't know if we can put it in on the YouTube channel, but it's this gorgeous painting of the main actors in this beautiful light. But we made this short film called Is It Your Refrigerator, which is a parody of 60s educational films, educating Ellis, who plays this woman in a kitchen, learning how to tell if it's your refrigerator, and it's just ridiculous. It's nonsensical. And I always wanted to make a sequel to that called Is Your Garden or Is Your Flower a Communist? Or something just totally bonkers like that. So how about that, Ellis? Should we make another one of those?
I mean, sure, whenever I'm next on the West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
So Alice, am I hearing you say we'll see you on the set pretty soon?
Well, who knows? I mean, if I could get down there, then absolutely.
Well, you know, we're talking to David. He's in LA. We stream all across the globe, so you don't have to physically come down. We can do the same. David is not here. He's in LA, and we're in Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Oh, that's actually not too far from me.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's up in Florida. Yeah.
Yes. So you can come in person in the studio, or we can capture you the same way we're capturing David.
I would definitely consider that.
Definitely, we'll have to connect and talk about that. I'm so glad you're watching and that you called in. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
yeah,
any other questions? Any other questions for David?
When are you coming to Florida?
She asked when you're coming to Florida, David.
Oh yeah, as soon as Short Film Universe can fly me out there, we'll make something out there.
There you go. We will do something in Florida. Yes.
We're all broke right
now.
Yes.
Well, I'm really enjoying the stream. You guys are doing great, and I can't wait to keep watching more.
Thank you so much, Alice. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to our channel. We'll have it in the description box. We'll have all the information.
Awesome.
And tell everyone to join in the stream. Get online, and we stream live every Monday at noon and every Thursday at 5 p.m. That's all Eastern Standard Time. That's on your time zone, Alice.
Okay, great.
So Ellis and I, really quick, we met, I was shooting behind the scenes on Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Ellis was in the art department. And she's almost as tall as me, and she was in the coffee line in front of me. I was behind her, and I was like, I want to make friends with this person. What do I say? And I said, you're not that tall. And she looked at me like, who the heck is this person? But we became fast friends and just hung out on Star Wars, geeking out. And
I was doing work
fast friends
experience
since.
just for a couple of weeks, and I just happened to bump into him. So that was a long start of a long friendship. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, David.
She's an amazing artist.
David, I promoted you earlier for giving relationship advice, and I don't think that was a good pickup quote, so I retract that. I think movies is your thing, and you do fantastic at it, but I don't know, I'm going to rethink this relationship advice thing. I think Alice agrees with
what
me.
Advice I give. I think that's smart.
Yeah, I think Alice agrees with me.
Yeah.
Yes. So Alice, so Alice will definitely be in touch because I'd like to chat with you about getting on the show.
Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks for having me on for a question, and I'll keep watching. And you guys are doing awesome.
Thank you so much. I'll let Felix know. He'd love to hear feedback. Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Alice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, Alice.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I'm glad you were able to hang tight there, because sometimes we get calls and sometimes they come in after. But,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that. So you were telling everyone the project that you would, and see, so Alice heard you were talking about redoing films from the past, and I guess Alice posed the right question. You did one in the past, and would you like to redo it?
Yeah, that one was just so much fun. We shot it on Super 8 film. We shot it in my old apartment, and we just played the roles ourselves. And it's just sort of nonsense, and that makes me giggle. And it actually went to a film festival in England. And my essay, because you have to write why the film should be shown in a festival. And mine said, you're going to have a lot of great films, some dramatic stuff, some intense stuff. Ours is a nice, nonsensical 1.5 minute palate cleanser. It's completely meaningless, and it'll just sort of confuse the audience, and they'll be ready for the next emotion of the next film.
Okay.
But it was just fun to make. We shot it in an afternoon, but really, I made so many. There's a lot of short films I would love that I've learned lessons from. That I wouldn't remake them, but I've taken lessons from them, and if I were to do them again, it sort of changed things.
Okay.
For example, in Deep Dish, I feel like it might be because we had cardboard backgrounds that limited our camera placement. I feel like I would change the blocking up more. They're kind of standing there talking a lot, and I think it maintains interest, because what they're talking about is very compelling. But I would have them move around a little more. And that's the thing I'm noticing about myself, is I'd like to improve my blocking.
Okay. So definitely, we're looking to have you now to confirm.
Watch out for that train.
I know, coming right at me. So surreal, because someone got pushed in front of a train, and
yeah, we were just talking about
I'm glad
trains.
I'm sitting safely in studio, not getting pushed in front of a train. So again, you're open to traveling abroad, any collaboration on film projects, yes? You have passport, will travel?
Oh,
yes?
yeah.
Fantastic.
When PureFlix called and asked me to come out to Georgia to build that spaceship set,
No, I'm talking about out of the
I just
U.S.
jumped on it.
I'm talking.
Oh yeah, I'll fly him.
Right. So.
Yes, Star Wars was in England, and that was really cool to go there and make friends on that movie and travel, and I love seeing new places.
Okay. So fantastic. So we'll get all your contact information. It will be in the description for audience members. Anyone that wants to collaborate with David. You've seen the work that he has done. He's doing everything that one can do on a film set. And feel free to connect with him. His information will be in the description box. And of course, at Short Film Universe, we're here every Monday at noon. We're streaming live, and every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do appreciate you spending time with us. We know there are other things you could be doing. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch David's instructional videos, and keep watching, and we will be talking with you again soon. Thank you so much, David, for giving us your time today to come in. And thank you, Felix, my producer, for getting this show on the air. Thank you so much to our visitors, for our guests, for watching. And we will see you again Monday at noon. David, any parting words before I let you go?
If you want to watch our Ed 209 scene where a giant robot kills a little puppet, that's at ghostlight.com.
Okay.
You can find him there.
Fantastic. And all your links, all of David's links, and the links to the videos and the films, we will have all that information in the description box, in the channel, Short Film Universe on YouTube. And we hope to see you. Well, we know we'll see you again soon, because now you're addicted, right? We'll see.
Oh, yeah, I can't stop. Yeah, I'm not going to sign off. I'm going to be hanging out here on this Zoom call.
Exactly.
Not moving.
Exactly. We'll get David back on set, promise. So we look forward to seeing you again. See you on Monday. Have a good evening. Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Felix.
Thank you.
Welcome to Short Film Universe, the show that celebrates the art of short filmmaking. Join us as we take you on a journey through the exciting world of independent film. In each episode, I'll be interviewing some of the most innovative directors, producers, and filmmakers in the business, getting their insight and perspective on the craft of short filmmaking. We'll look at drama, comedy, documentaries, even mockumentaries, and all the genres that make up this exciting industry. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be entertained. This is Ennamorgan inviting you to join us at Short Film Universe.